Here is a new tool from this channel, Fit and Finish. It is a mechanically driven DRO that precisely measures the height of your table saw blade. It is accurate down to single-digit thousandths of an inch, letting you absolutely bullseye table saw joinery on a single pass, like this scarf joint, or half flap, or bridle joint. It works by tracking the rotation of your elevation handle using this dial nut that rotates around a large screw thread. In fact, the screwing motion is how it keeps track of your elevation. By screwing forward and back, it aligns over these measurements. We'll demo a quick half flap by first marking the cross sections.
Now we measure the thickness of the piece that we're half lapping, and in this case I milled these to exactly 3/4 of an inch, which means we can set the DRO on our table saw blade to exactly half that, which is 3/8, right there. All right.
I taped the two pieces together and cut them in the same pass to keep things consistent. I'm also using a flat top grind blade, which is really important for any table saw joinery.
All right, let's see how I did. A slight love tap. Oh, sorry, this was supposed to be just B-roll. On my white oak here, I'm at 0.7490, and then directly over the joint face itself, I'm at 0.7485. If I press pretty hard, if I press like medium light, I'm at 0.75, which means I'm basically within 2/1000ths of an inch, depending on how much pressure you use in the calipers, of the original piece of wood for this half flap.
Okay, that seems easy, but installing calibration has got to be a pain in the butt, right? Wrong, and I don't like your attitude. First, clip in the mounting ring in any orientation, it really doesn't matter. Now, set your table saw blade to 0. It should be as close as possible to scratching a piece of plywood without actually scratching it. Now, rotate the dial nut on the screw to align with 0 and slot it into the mounting ring. Try to keep that spirit level even for extra precision, which I'll explain later on. Now, insert the lock knob, which keeps everything in place. If you want, you can snap on the extensions for the lock knob and handle to keep things easy to reach. And that is literally it. Raise and lower your table saw blade and watch the weighted dial nut magically rotate to show your current blade height. Okay, so why does this all work? Well, the motor carriage of the saw stop rides up and down on a 6 TPI Acme screw. That's 6 threads per inch, which means if you rotate the elevation handle 6 times, the blade rises by 1 inch. The screw base and all of its numbers are a creative translation of that same thread pitch. The dial nut is the other half of the magic. I filled the bottom half with lead BBs to keep it aligned with gravity, forcing it to rotate around the screw base. I used lead because it's so dense, but no one wants that spilling out, so I put a nice clear warning label right here. The best part is that because the whole thing works on a fixed gear system, the DRO will always remain true. It has no batteries, there's no belt drive or slippage. The only reason to recalibrate is if you want to change your table saw blade, or better yet, throw on a table saw sled. To recalibrate, simply get your new setup back to 0, loosen the lock knob, and then rotate the screw base and the dial nut to match. Okay, one more detail on precision, my favorite topic, before we get back to actually using this thing. So the screw base and the hand wheel rotate 22 times just to raise the blade from 0 to 3.5 inches in blade height. That's 30 linear feet of travel around the screw base. That means each inch of circumference of this screw base equates to less than 1/100th of an inch in blade height. But it gets better. Remember the spirit level that I mentioned before? You can use this to make your alignment over the measurements even more precise. The dial nut will stay centered on gravity maybe plus or minus 12 degrees because of static friction. But the spirit level will let you get even closer. At plus or minus 2 degrees, you're now at 1/1000th of an inch in precision. But why do I need 1/1000th of an inch in precision on my table saw blade? It's a fair question. You don't need this for ripping down 2x4s. This is a tool for table saw joinery. Like I showed with the half flap earlier, this is probably better set up and used with dado blade sets or table saw sleds. With those setups, joinery like tenons, rabbets, half flaps, or dados become much easier to control for and repeat. No more sneaking up on fit or sacrificial test pieces. Measure once, cut once. One time, that's it. All right, that's it for now. I need to get busy on a metric version and a smaller version for the SawStop PCS. All the ones you've seen so far are for the larger ICS hand wheel that I have here in the shop. If you want to try this out as soon as possible, go to my website, fitandfinish.co, and put in a pre-order for 50 cents. 50 cents is of course meaningless, but putting down real credit card information substantiates real demand for me. I only have a single dual color printer here in my workshop that can make these parts quickly. And if there's real demand, I need to start ordering more printers ASAP. I don't know the final retail price, but I'll make these first pre-order units $30 or less. If nothing else, go to fitandfinish.co and sign up your email. I am garbage at the algorithms on this platform, but I'm trying really hard. See, I even put up the old YouTube background lamp. But don't trust YouTube is going to surface my next video when I start to ship these out. Lastly, I need a tiebreaker vote. I'm torn on what to call this DRO. One idea is to call it the datum, and the datum is a technical term in the field of metrology for a zero or reference baseline surface against which you measure other things, or the ordinate, which is the technical term for the y-coordinate in a standard XY coordinate system. So go in the comments and tell me which one sucks less. Anyway, this has been a long journey, and I am super excited to share this idea with other people now that the patents have been filed. So please stay subscribed. Please look out for future videos. I have a lot of other ideas I'm trying to get out there, and this is just the first. All right, see you later.